Yee, we are
Hey,
live. We are
yay!
live and on time. Can y'all hear
We
us?
be
Can y'all hear
clubbing.
us good? We be club.
We
What?
be we be clubbing at the
We are
crib.
so not club. We be YouTubing.
Hmm?
We be YouTubing.
That don't. We be YouTube. That
Yeah.
don't work.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to make it work.
That's why I said we be
We're
clubbing.
gonna have to
You
make it
we be
work.
too YouTubing don't work.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. It is us. It is Rufus and Jenny at Dawa Presents, bringing you another fabulous conversation via YouTube Live. And we're going to be talking about so much today that I'm going to be hopping right in real quick. So I gotta do the housework first. Let me get the housework out the way, okay? So we are Rufus and Jenny Triplet, a husband and wife
What kind of
team.
hop we talking about?
I said house.
You said you was gonna hop in.
I said
I want
no.
to see how you gonna hop in.
Okay. We have been married 31 years. 31, and we're a little bit plus because we're over like a month and 31, right? Okay, 31 and a little plus years.
No, we used to do that when we was
And
3 years old. I ain't 3 no more.
we are
And no
co-authors
2 in a
of the
day.
best-selling book, Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century. 13 easy tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. And it's international, it's worldwide. We're international and all that good type of stuff. We also have a workbook to go with that, which is getting back to the swoon on the honeymoon. Y'all see us swooning right there, right? We swooning. Okay, so 25
Is
ways in
everybody
25
supposed to
days
see you
to get
swooning or
back.
something?
Okay. And then we also have a card game that goes with it. And it's on Walmart now, guys. So you guys can go to Walmart. It's on Walmart. You guys can go and order your couples card game at Surviving Marriage. Isn't that cute how we get there? Look at that branding. See, that's branding. See that branding?
Is that what they
Brandon
call
got
it?
the card game, okay, to go with the book. And it's 99 questions for one great conversation, okay? So all of y'all couples that are contacting us that don't know how to talk to each other, you're quarantined, don't have anything to talk about, we got 99 cards right here, 99 cards for a great conversation. So
How
y'all
you know they didn't miss one?
y'all need to get to talking.
It might be 98 in the box. They
Yeah.
might have kept one.
It's 99. It better be 99.
Never know.
I want my money back. I'm gonna be calling China. Hey, holla at a sister.
At least we ain't getting them from the UK.
Somebody better
They got that new strand over there.
Somebody better cough up some coins.
Cough them up.
Yeah.
If we ain't at the doctor's office, this the only person tell me to cough.
Well, why is all of this important? Because one day it may be our Hollywood story. You just never know, because books are turned into movies or TV shows or otherwise, like we have a podcast, we have a Surviving Marriage podcast. So yeah, something may happen with that. And we're going to bring on our guest because he is known for making things happen in Hollywood. Just a little bit. Right? Just a little bit.
He made it happen.
Just a little bit. Now, can I introduce him? Why you be so quick with it? You're just clicking all around.
I saw my boy backstage, so I went on ahead and put him in.
Okay, but do anybody ever bring anybody to the stage without introducing them?
I thought you just introduced him.
I did not.
They know his name
I
already.
said this brother. That's all.
They know his name already.
Okay.
This is funny right here. Look at them two.
Actor, comedian, writer, producer, philanthropist. Am I missing anything else? I'm missing anything else.
They don't think he a bootlegger.
And I'm warning both of y'all before I bring him on here for conversations. I'm warning the both of y'all. We ain't about to do this today. When y'all get together.
Don't nobody give me no warning.
When y'all two.
Don't nobody give me no warnings up in here.
I'm just warning y'all. Okay. Omar Regan. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, walaikum salam. So thank y'all for having me on the Rufus and Jeannie show.
Look, it's our honor.
See?
It's our honor. Yeah, he started.
See, that's right. He started it.
Yeah,
let's get something straight around here.
It is totally our honor. And you've been around the world. Nah, yeah. You've been around the world.
You travel with Sade?
That's not Sade.
That's Lisa Stanford.
Oh, that's the one I said.
See,
when I said I was just making sure you was up on your toes.
Don't let him check you on your own show. Don't let him check you.
I was making sure you was on your
own show. Okay. So been around the world, Okay, and COVID made you sit your butt down somewhere.
Yeah,
And
COVID
you
did.
you
Yeah.
stay on the go. You got like more frequent flyer miles
Oh
than
man.
pilots. Like for
I'm
real.
so grateful too for that. It's
Like
been
for
the
real.
most humbling experience ever. Let me tell you.
So what?
Oh
So,
man.
so you had to sit down somewhere. So what did you do when you had to sit down? How did
I-
COVID make you sit down?
You know, I sat down and I wrote. I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. Script, next script,
Okay.
next script. I'm
Wow.
preparing. I'm in preparation for when COVID leaves. Then we're going into production.
Oh,
So it did give me like I felt it. I felt it like everybody else because the money stopped. The when
uh,
you're not as busy,
Can't
then
talk to
travel.
her. Now you talking my language.
Your
yeah,
your suitcases collecting dust.
Yeah.
man, when the it's like the money stopped, it forced me to get creative and to come outside of the box to like, man, like you just you're living the unknown. You have no
Mm.
idea of what's happening, what's gonna happen. So all you could do is just trust in your art and your creativity. And I just sat down and said, well, Bismillah, let me prepare, let me write. I got one script down. Boom. Let me write, get another script down. And I got two
Wow.
more in the works. So I'm like, hey, alhamdulillah. I'm like,
Wow.
and it keeps me excited artistically.
Hmm.
But I also, within these last 2 months, I've been filming still. I'm so grateful for that. Uh, Filming a talk show, which is it's exciting. I'm
You ain't
excited.
in Hollywood, is you?
Well, Omar, that is actually a blessing to be productive because I mean, this hits people in so many different ways that you got to process it. Like people really had to process it, not
Yeah.
being able to go to work, when work was shut down, having to homeschool your children. And bringing them home and having to homeschool your children, and just really not knowing what to do. So I guess as with a creative mind, you know, it works differently. You like in a different way, like it puts you in a creative space.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I mean, it was tough though. I mean, because you take a second and you got to adjust because I used to get ideas on the plane and be like, oh
Yes,
yeah, and then write
yes.
down notes and everything on the plane. And I enjoyed my, I'm a million miler and all that good
Yeah.
status with the airlines.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's I miss it. I miss it. But I traveled 3 times during the COVID. Actually, like my last trip coming out of the UK was on November the 25th. I made it out before they tier forwarded. Um, so
Oh, you ain't get the new strand?
right, I went in as soon as I flew in there. Though I was there for a month and I was in lockdown.
I was gonna
So
say, did you have to quarantine?
I was in. Yep, you have to like 14-day self isolation. But so
Do they
it
check
was
on
good.
that? Is that like monitored like in some of these other countries they give you a leg monitor and all that good type of stuff?
I didn't get the leg monitors. I'm just grateful. I believe people were giving me horror stories, and I just felt blessed and highly favored. That's I was like, oh, well, you know what? Let me not say nothing because nobody bothered me. So,
Oh,
I got
oh,
you.
the
I
cats weren't
got you.
coming in your room with
Yeah,
hazmat
yeah.
suits on.
But we
right,
understand that not being able to travel because that's where like a lot of our ideas we would bounce off of one another with our road trips because we stayed on the road.
Oh, that
yeah,
was all my ideas.
Yeah.
I just drew a blank at the crib.
Yeah. We started binge watching television and all that good type of stuff. I mean, we were just our schedule went like our schedule. We were like
yeah,
booked for
yeah.
this year, and our schedule went like this.
Oh,
So
what was it? We're doing 90 going south and we
we
went to
was
zero.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
I'm
like
with y'all.
like you said with the money, it was like we were seeing like thousands of dollars, like your gas
Just
fee, like
weren't coming anymore. And you know what? Here was the other part about that money. That money is that the idea from bookers is that they called me now to book me for a virtual gig, but the money was like
wasn't the same.
extremely
Partner,
and they
partner.
The
right. I
money
had
was
to have a
disrespectful.
conversation with them because they had an idea like saying that yeah. You're at home. I was
Yeah.
like, that makes
Bruh.
it even harder.
Yes.
Hey,
There's no energy from the crowd.
hey,
You know, it's the same or even more preparation. You know,
all I'm saying is I had to start. Hey, I know get what you some people feel get what you can get, but look at here. You ain't finna get me for $1.
Right.
All right. Y'all pimping the joke up in here now. We had to stop all that pimping going on.
Tell him
all right,
again, Lucas.
all
Tell him
right.
again.
Before we run out of time, because I got a lot to talk
Hmm?
about this. I got a lot
Well,
to
you
talk to
always
this
have a lot
brother
to
about.
talk about.
I do.
Well, let me shut up then.
Okay, so let's jump in right into Hollywood. Okay. And
Hollywood.
there's been a lot of talk with this year and this racial awakening and hooray for Hollywood, hurrah, Hollywood is now woke, you know, to all of what they've been
Are they
missing.
really woke?
Yeah, with this blackness, this melaniness and diversity and different things
I
like
say they
that.
sleeping with one eye open. They ain't just woke.
And folks can Google you. We're not gonna go into your IMDb resume and different things like that, but he's Googleicious. So go out there and you can see him, you know, Rush Hour. He's the actor, you know,
Oh,
the
I'm grateful.
extraordinaire. But a lot of what you went through in Hollywood hasn't been released to the public. I don't know if you're like saving that for, you know, a book, a script, or stories or different things like that. But tell us about some of your treatment as a Muslim in Hollywood and some of your challenges.
I would say that it was really first I enjoyed the Hollywood, right? I enjoyed like that whole Hollywood theme. It felt like, it made you feel like it was important, like you was a somebody. But my issue was I had principles. And Hollywood kind of they don't really hold on to principles like that. Like it's all about the art in their mind. So they weren't really testing me as a Muslim. They were more testing me of what I would give up in their mind for the sake of art, is how it's portrayed.
Mm.
And I mean, I wasn't like telling everybody, "Oh, I'm Muslim, I can't do that." I was just like, I choose not to do that. Those are not
Right.
I want to do roles that's going to, I want to do some more uplifting roles. I don't want to be the transgender guy. And they said, "You don't? Are you serious? This is CBS." I was like, I know. I understand. I'm saying the same thing you're saying. It's
Right.
this is going to launch your career. This is going to launch your career. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to launch my career like that. And the lady was like, are you kidding me? We're going to make you a star. So they didn't really understand it. Even though they've heard it before, they was like, we put you in a unique position. Like, you have charisma, you're here, you're SAG-AFTRA eligible at that time. Like, we're about to make you a star. And I was going on this, I was scheduled to be on that. I don't know if you guys remember that Will Smith show. He executive produced that show with Lisa Ray and Tony Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was scheduled to be on that and then have a reoccurring character on Girlfriends and then have a role on Eve.
Okay.
So that was the meetings behind after I had did this show called Fight for Fame on VH1 and signed with the major agency. They had a plan out for my career. And it started with me being the down low brother. That was the homosexual,
And
but
they had a plan for you.
right, right. And then even I had some other good friends of mine, all good Muslims. If you ain't got to kiss no dude, then man, you straight. I would just do it.
Man, you should have had me on the phone with you.
Okay.
I'd have been helping you cuss them out.
Okay. So yeah, you have Muslims who don't compromise. We're two of those.
Hey, partner, I ain't gonna even go down my list of my. I ain't gonna say
offers.
Yeah, or my rejection, or I rejected.
Yeah.
Only because again, I don't have to say I'm Muslim. It's my morals that said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't talk about certain things I could, but then I'm gonna say one name, which is with can I say one name? I don't know. Anyway,
No, say no name.
but look, they
I
asked
like
me.
how he said that. I'll say one name. I don't
But
know.
they asked me a question, right? And they asked, well, Rufus, is you going, can you? I said, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you ask me about it, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not finna sit up here and condone something, and I'm finna tell you the truth on what's going on. If you ask me, they tried to stay away from the question when we got on the show, but anywho,
Yeah, and just recently, Halima Aden, walked away from the fashion world because of that. And it's what is so funny is that we're okay when we're the stereotypes, because how many shows or movies you could see where hey brother, you want a bean pie? Can I get you a bean pie?
we do
Anything
got
like
those
that.
brothers out there now.
No, but I'm saying, but they use it more as a stereotype. It's not like
Oh, I
the
agree.
brother just in the neighborhood. It's
Yeah,
accentuated.
it ain't just like
Like,
me, right?
yeah,
Right. I know
like
what you're
it's just
saying.
elevated
Mhm.
to the point where it's this
Yeah.
stereotype,
That's
of
the only narrative. Like,
like who
yeah.
they are, or the only roles. When they need any man, when they gotta go to the masjid, gotta pray, gotta do something. Yeah, you're good for that role.
Well, we bomb up stuff too.
For that.
We be blowing up. They
You know what y'all making me think, like, even as I'm listening to y'all too, and I do remember this because that was 14 years ago, right? Now
Now where it was respected, like it's respected now, what you did.
Now I think it's a lot more respected. Because you know what I was saying? And this sounds so bad. I guess I was fighting for LGBTQ rights back then, right? Listen to what I said. I said, if you have a down low brother, there's them out there. Give him the role.
I actually said the same thing.
Right. Why you gotta get somebody that's not to play that?
If you have a transgender, give him the transgender role.
Right.
Don't give it to me. I'm like, and then she told me, if you're a good actor, you can pull it off. I was like, that's not the point. The point is he needs the work.
Yeah.
I need the work. Even if it's a janitor or a security guard or a police officer, they closed the door on me.
Oh, wow.
And they at least let me walk down the street like I was
and see what is good for them is to see like the rogue Muslim. And I really, we have a lot of conversations about this. I really think it's a personal thing that people get off on, like, oh, we freed the Muslim sister, she did this role without her hijab, or she takes it off, playing this role, or something that totally goes against the faith. Then they're okay with that. They're happy with that.
We don't gay bash
with that.
We don't gay bash. You are who you are. You do what you do. All that good stuff. But again, if that's what you want, I mean, for me, that's what you need to get.
Do you think it is a lot easier to be unapologetically Muslim in Hollywood as a male rather than a female?
I think they do make it a lot easier because of the this whole chauvinistic, unbalanced world. I mean, even from the Muslim community to the worldwide, it's always been, unfortunately, set up as competition as opposed to what Allah reveals in the Quran as partnership. So we've had that issue, for, I guess, say forever. Men is taught to compete with women and women are taught to compete with men. And so they do make things easier with that narrative. It's just up for us to change it. Like, that's just what everything that I'm seeing now is just, it's like, we just have to change these things to make them correct, because I don't see that we're going to be able to join Hollywood and them telling our stories for to make a change. I see that we have to create our stories, and then they would see that, oh, they're there, because they can't really see what we're talking about. They don't know what you and I know. A successful 31 years plus marriage is like,
don't see it.
They don't see it.
You don't even see that in non-Muslims. It's more ratchet, more ghetto, more fighting, more. You don't see. We were having a conversation with somebody. I can't even name 5 couples, TV couples, that are like positive role model, like couples like we used to have back in the 80s,
right?
And all the black families and different things like that. I can't name that today. So there's been like a whole switch about family and especially Black families. But you brought up something which takes me to my next question. I remember I contacted you in regards to a project that was in development that was verbatim, pretty much like your movie, American Sharia, which is streaming right now on Amazon. Streaming right now on Amazon.
I
American
know. I'm so happy. We're almost at 100,000 streams.
What? Can a sister get $20?
That is so humbling.
It's going on around
I
here.
gotta tell everybody. Oh, when we get into that, that thing there. Oh, Allah help me, because it was such a fight. It was such a fight. But I don't want to jump from your.
Okay, we'll come back around to that.
Okay.
So the project that was in development was pretty much verbatim. Now, I was pissed. I contacted you. I had some fire behind
Looking at it saying, hey,
myself.
Did he just do that?
Yeah, like I had some fire, and all the respect I had for and I'm dropping a name. All the respect I had for DL Hughley and stuff like that. And I said, well, he didn't know. He don't know. He's just attaching himself to a project that was pitched to him, I'm sure, just to see, what could come about it. But you handle it the way that you handled it. And I had to take a few steps back. And so I just have to wonder, how many times has something like that happened?
Oh, he didn't walk up into the office with a machete?
Look, he didn't even
thought he was gonna cut somebody.
He didn't even mention them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even say it. He knew it happened because I mentioned it to him and he went out there and he saw it, but he ain't mentioned them people. So how many times has that happened to you? Something like that, maybe something that you have pitched, or you all of a sudden seen it come into fruition.
It's been it has happened a few times, I want to say. And first I was oblivious, and it was this time when it was like, okay, now I gotta open my eyes now. It was like it's the line in the movie. It's like, you gonna believe me or your own eyes? What are you gonna do? What's up?
It was almost verbatim for me. I was
verbatim.
That is verbatim.
It was, yes.
And it's so surprising because it didn't go nowhere.
No, I don't even think they did the pilot.
Yeah, but it did two things. It did two things though, because I think I also shared this, that it gave me a boost that I know, because I was getting beat up by Muslims. I was getting beat up so badly by Muslims, man. And because I already left the Hollywood circle. When you leave outside of that Hollywood circle, you're like forgotten. Yeah. So even the people that I know, even when I'm reintroducing myself, what the? Oh, hey!
Where you been?
It's like, it gets interesting. You have to do something now in order for it to even mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
So even like
trades or somebody's mind. Yeah,
it's true. And the times, everything is moving so fast. And if you're not building that personal relationship, which even then, I didn't build a lot of personal Hollywood relationships at the time, because in order to build those times, you had to go to places where, you just maybe shouldn't go.
Right.
Because you might see some things you don't need to be seeing.
I went a couple times.
We go out to Cali, and they want to meet. When we got to Cali, my bedtime is at 5 o'clock.
Oh, stop!
Ain't going.
I went a couple times and was like, this is not okay. And they like me. And they always like, yeah, we can count on you. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do anything. We need you. So I was like, no, this is a different kind.
Designated driver.
This is different. This is not gonna end well.
Yeah, you were the designated driver to all the
yeah, this is not okay.
Uber was Uber.
Right. Pre-Uber, that's right. And they had nice cars.
No, of course.
It was just nice. It was like in a different kind of thing. And this is the thing about Hollywood, man. Like they have this wild respect for you and your beliefs and everything, but it just doesn't fit in the mainstream.
Right.
Personally, they're like, man, I could tell you what my former manager told me. Omar, I love you, baby. I love you. I love everything you stand for. But listen, I'm going to get you that Comedy Central special, but you just got to be dirty, baby. You could do your Muslim thing on the side, but this way we can get that Comedy Central special and get you a show on Comedy Central. Like, you have everything, and I got the connects. Let's do it.
They
And
love you when you're Muslim, but not when you Muslim. Because when you Muslim, they can't deal with that part.
Yeah, they like the name.
Yeah,
If you say you Muslim, they cool with you.
because there's a lot of
But if
Muslims in the
you are
business.
practicing,
If you Muslim,
that's what they can't intertwine with.
Yeah, they can't get that.
I get what you're saying, because we talk to plenty of people out in Hollywood, and I mean, they love us. You know what I'm saying? But they not finna put me on.
But even with our
show with some craziness,
even with our TLC special, even with that story, like, they would get the notes from the network, and the producers would come down after they've seen the footage. We're still shooting. Producers will come down, seeing the footage, and say, can they not mention Allah so much? Can they, can we, not do that part? But even when they showed when they did the special, and we actually saw it for ourselves, a lot of what we said was edited.
Man, they piece my stuff together, like something I said over here with something else over here, and I was like, what in the world happened?
Yep.
Yeah, so that part is, I believe, is hard to get around as far as Hollywood is concerned. But
I kept saying, this ain't the business for me. I got the role.
But then you can have shows like Rami, and they can mention the law.
Yeah, because of what the things that they're doing.
And they can do that, but you can't have like a counter narrative to that. You can't have a counter abstract to that.
Well, I think because of the main ingredient that Hollywood has for successful films is drama, is a bunch of how you say immoral behavior. So it's like that sells. Even now, unfortunately, you'll get so many views off of somebody falling off their bike and people laughing. You'll get so many views off of that, but then let you put out a marriage tip or marriage, you won't get as many views as the drama.
Right.
And it's like, this is the times we're living in. Yeah, it's like, man, the times that we're living in, it's amazing. Like, it's something to see. It's like, wow, it's humbling, but we just gotta stick with it, because that's what I'm saying. Like, for myself, I just gotta stick with the stories that I want to tell, and I don't have to be
for myself.
I don't have to be Oscar award winner. I'm not searching for validation. I'm just searching to be able to create a platform that my children, my children's children can be able to tell their story, have a platform where they can control their own narratives.
Well, that's Adam. What's his name? Adam, that does all the movies.
Sadler.
Adam Sandler. That's him. He doesn't care about the awards either. But look how many movies he's done.
I know. I'm really proud of him.
Successful. Like,
he straight up did it outside of Hollywood.
Like really like non-mainstream. But he gets the money and he gets the budget.
And Shia LaBeouf is doing that too. He's doing the same thing.
So this is what brings me to my next question, because it all comes down to the money. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So we are so segmented as Muslims. Like, I'm not gonna say sex, but we are segmented as Muslims. Okay. Racism and xenophobia runs rampant throughout the Ummah. Okay. That's keeping it 100. But true. You try to be all encompassing. I mean, we do too. When we've extended several olive branches. Now, I ain't gonna drop no names on this one. Several olive branches, but I guess they didn't make it to where they needed to be.
Maybe olives done dried up.
Maybe those messages was left on.
I ain't got no more olives
left on read. Okay, they didn't make it. But so what are the pros and cons of that? Because I remember when you were fundraising for American Sharia, there were death threats and all kind of other stuff that was going on. I just tried to just give you positive vibes, like, brother, we with you, got your back, just keep going. So what are the pros and cons of trying to be encompassing?
One is we do have more support than we think inside of our bubbles, but we have to find them. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to find them, man. And we're gonna get more hate and more attack because of that support. So, like, this guy who was sending those death threats and all of his followers, Muslims, and their whole principle was that we shouldn't be raising money for film when, Muslims that really need, we have orphans and we have Syria and we have Palestine. And
That's
these
the
were,
only thing we could do. We can't do nothing else.
And then it's like blaming you for all the problems of the world.
No, exactly. Or it's like this whole little thing where you can't, it's still a manipulative kind of using religion as a manipulative tool to try to stop you from following who you are in your dreams and your calling. So it's like we have to be stronger than that, because people are used. I mean, if you listen to this guy, he really convinced thousands of people with the ayats that he was using and, the hadiths that he was using. If I wasn't studied, thank me, Allah have mercy on my father, I would have fallen for this guy too, I would think, oh my God, so it's like, he's right. It's almost like when I hear Muslims say, yes, music is haram, right? I'd be like, it's haram for you. That's your understanding, but you would never find where it's that the Prophet ﷺ said music is haram. You would never find where the Quran says music is haram. This is your understanding, and I respect it. I have a different opinion because I've studied the matter. So what I find is that it's more people that's supportive, but they're afraid to come out unless they have reason to, especially for us. So because of my traveling around the world and meeting people, I'm really grateful that people felt like they owed it to me to support me because they knew me. And it's like, okay, we can't let Omar down. We got to come through for him, man. He's got a vision. We talk to him. We know what it is. But then even those people didn't come through strong. They came through, very mild, without wanting to even put their name on it because of the fact that they was going to get so much hate.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and then if you only stick inside of your bubble, we don't have enough funds like us collectively as Black Muslims.
And we don't even know where to go to get it. Like, these people that the filmmakers, they go and they pitch and they're able to get monies. We don't even know where to go to get money for our ideas.
That's true. And that becomes a problem, which is the reason why I just opened up the door on the Kickstarter for the public, and like saying, hey, and I just had to put the trust, man. And I'm so grateful. Allah say yes.
You did that. You did that.
And then it wasn't even, American Sharia is not the movie that I wrote. I had to take 20 pages out of the film, like a lot of issues that people find within the story. The truth of the matter is I couldn't tell the story the way that I wanted to tell the story because of the budget. I had to take out 20 pages, and then I ran out of money making the movie. So then I just had to put things together, hoping that it will come to that I can fit it inside of the story, that I can actually have an ending, right? But and that was because nobody, well, I'm not gonna say nobody, I'm saying people in my circle did not believe that we could make a film with $150,000. I understand. I was like, I understand. I do. I feel you. Like, generally, even a low budget movie is $3 million.
Budget and quality of the film is what he's looking at.
Then they were like, nobody's gonna watch it. You're gonna waste money and all this kind of stuff. But man, through it all, alhamdulillah, man. And
what made you finally put it up on Amazon?
I was going back and forth with Netflix. So I
Okay.
didn't get to the room to actually have a meeting with Netflix. They couldn't. The gatekeepers were too strong.
Oh my
Uh,
God. Look, we
yeah,
ain't even got to that one yet.
the gatekeepers
Still,
on
hey, we
Netflix.
still got something on hold that's supposed to be showing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those gatekeepers in Netflix, and I understand it. I'm not like I understand it because even I'm sure you guys get bombarded with everybody that want y'all to do their story, like
Mm.
and it's like we still trying to work on our story.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel y'all. I'm supportive, but it's like, hey man, like I want let me get in and get stable.
hey, we kind of like we kind of got someone, and this lady is from Ireland, and
Okay.
Now you
we
see
kind of
where
got
it
some.
took somebody way. It's always
Right.
somebody way
We
outside
couldn't
of our
talk to nobody
circle.
here to get on Netflix. We had to talk to somebody in Ireland. Think about that one. But anywho,
Who came across us through somebody else, not our contact, but somebody
right. So
else.
we were told. Yeah, I guess our name was put in the pot by somebody else to her.
Yes.
She reached out, saw us, loved us, whatever you want to call it, and we filmed something with her. She's still
She said the feedback. I'm trying to cut to the
right,
chase,
because
but she
it's
said
they're working.
she said the feedback has been great, but it's like a slow process, and we're like we've done TV before, so we know. We
Well, at least you passed
understand.
it. But my thing with her was at least you passed the gatekeepers. We couldn't
Exactly.
get past
It's
the
the
gatekeepers.
gatekeepers. But see, it took somebody. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Somebody
So,
fair skin. You know.
right. And what you mean fair skin? That's a white lady.
The allies, how they say it, the allies.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
but it wasn't us. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know
So,
what, though? I'm glad you said that too, Rufus, because if we see in history with our dear leaders, the Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, they always had allies that would come in that would like, I'm here to do this work. So I'm not mad at this Ireland lady.
We ain't mad.
hey,
Yeah.
if she can get me to the table and to the
Right.
room, but again, it's us telling our story our
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, because somebody can always get you to the table. That's where TLC came from. Somebody got us to the table. Somebody can always get you to the tables, but it's what we do when we get there.
No, that's true.
That's what's going to sustain us,
Or that's what's
and
going to that's going to make or break the project.
Yeah.
Because depending on what's said in that room, again, we've been in plenty of rooms. Matter of fact, he wasn't at the writers thing though in California.
No.
Did you know?
No, he was supposed to come that night.
Oh, you supposed to come?
At the Writers Guild.
Oh, yeah, I was supposed to. I did not make that one.
Well, the thing is it's cool. We all get together and everybody talk about what the problem is, but then when we disperse from that room and everybody go back to their regular job, nothing still got done. I ain't see nothing get done after that.
Yeah.
That was one of the conflicts that I was having because I've been in Hollywood 14 years. And so when I see those types of things happening, I'm like, is there what's the next step? What's the next, or where's the next meeting? Where's the follow-up? And what's the production that we're going to do?
Yeah.
If we're not having all of those things in steps, chances are this is not going to happen.
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. It's a nice conversation to have. There's no solutions behind it. And so I just kind of like going back and wrestling with myself, going back and forth. I could be doing this, or I can go in here with this. This,
but
right?
I'm gonna tell you this though. When we roll up in LA, and you know we don't get there often as we should, well, we should get some more, whatever. You know we're gonna be in town.
Is Corona still out there?
You need to pull up. You need to pull up. You know you don't do. When we come, we pull up.
That's
you see it in this list. You know we pull up. Okay.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. When we come, you hear we coming and stuff. We gonna be in the place. Our face gonna be in the place.
Oh, you just gonna tell that man what he finna do?
I'm telling him.
What she's saying, I'm gonna translate it. She said, "Look, man, we all we got. If we got into this room, You come over here because maybe you'll say something to compliment what we already got brewing. That's
Yes.
what I'm understanding.
Yes, yes. And just because you weren't there, I'm just sharing this with you. We had a lot of fans in the room.
Man,
We didn't know.
I had no idea that them people even knew my name.
Exactly. We were knowing people say, "Oh yeah, I follow you guys on Instagram. Oh, I know who you guys are." You're
And then I'm like, well, how come I ain't got a job yet then?
yeah, thank you. I ain't in a writer's
What's
room.
going on around
You know what
here?
I'm saying? Have your people call my people. You know, let's do this.
Right.
And that's what I feel those type of meetings should be. You know, and we don't get those type of contacts because whenever you see the Muslim narrative, it's not us. You know, it's not us, and we're always being overlooked. And African American Muslim women are the most marginalized demographic. We are the
In the
most
world.
marginalized
But
demographic.
it's so interesting how they share the same narrative in Hollywood as the Middle Eastern and the Pakistanis, how they're always struggling with their hijab and they're always struggling with, they want to go and fornicate, and they want to go and drink. And that's
don't even have
the
to be
narrative.
We don't have to be right in the room to know how the story finna go.
Go.
True.
Exactly. And and I tell this story all
But
the time.
I think we told them that night too.
Well, I said a lot of stuff in that room that night, but I told this story that, you know, I am a huge Law and Order fan, have been since day one, since when it come up, the original Law and Order. The
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of musical instruments going on up here?
So it was, to me, knowing Islam and knowing how populated New York is with Muslims, why you didn't see more Muslims on that show. You know, why couldn't the Muslim be the cashier? You know, or why couldn't Muslim be?
I told you he was gonna carry the bomb. I knew when I saw that Muslim on that show, I knew he was gonna have the bomb.
Why couldn't the Muslim be, you know, the clerk when you come to get the records or something like that? I'm sure there are Muslims
I said, they got that
in
briefcase.
all of those. Why couldn't the Muslim be the neighbor? You know, people have Muslim neighbors
because he got to have a backpack on.
They were never in regular role. Why couldn't the Muslim be the nanny? I know they got Muslim nannies. All these shows,
they're in control of the narrative, and so that's the boogeyman, and the Muslims were the boogeyman. And so anytime you see Muhammad or Abdul or Ahmed, and here my biggest thing is this, I know y'all know this too, and I mentioned this on my show. There's been two, when I was growing up, there were two movies. Muhammad the Message, which is a story about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Lion of the Desert, which is the story of Omar Mukhtar, right? We stopped making movies. That was the only two movies that we can have. There's no more movies that ever come from a Muslim narrative. Like, and I don't know that they say these are the only two movies that we will ever need forever. like or what happened, but it got to where movies is haram. Somebody started telling that narrative that, you know, images is haram, so movies is haram. And you know what they told me? Listen to this one. This one is gonna get you. They told me, okay, Omar, you're going to make a movie. This is a well-known scholar, right? He says, don't put pretty Muslim sisters in the movie. And so we was there. My brother said, wait, so it's okay to put ugly sisters in the movie? And then,
you know how we do it, right?
And then he said, and who's the one judging who's pretty and who's ugly?
Oh,
right?
yes.
And you know what he said? He answered the question. He said,
wow,
listen, if they look at this pretty sister and they look at her in a sinful way, because you put her in your movie, you're going to get the sin also.
Wow.
Now, if there was some young, manipulative religious type of, if I actually believe that he's giving me because of, you know, when you do good, there's things and everyone is rewarded, and he started going into this mini khutbah about it, but I just knew that this was BS. I
Yeah.
said, Sheikh, respectfully, Sheikh, listen, Sheikh,
Uh,
that can't be. This man got an issue with himself because you're saying that it's okay for her to walk up and down the street. It's okay for her to go to the grocery store. It's okay for her to work at the bank, but I can't tell her story. She could be outside walking. If he got a problem, he got a problem with himself.
right.
Nobody tell him to sit over there staring at her like that.
Well, you're not just looking at the woman on the TV. Then you're probably looking at the woman in the grocery store. You're probably looking at the woman walking down the street. Probably looking at the woman at the gas station.
That's
So a
what
whole
he's
bunch
saying.
of women.
Yeah, he's saying that he's the one that has the problem.
Whole bunch of women you should be looking at.
And if somebody is going to nitpick a project like that or nitpick every little thing like that, maybe they shouldn't be watching. Don't watch the movie.
I still look. I say I know plenty of Muslims who's there, and look, me personally, I lower my gaze. I try to lower my gaze everywhere I go, everything. But you're gonna see some things. You're gonna see, right? If you're out and about and you're in another country or you're even in the United States, if you're out and about, you're going to see some things. I think it's more so about the staring. So I don't know as far as like on the screen and somebody staring, because even us being on the screen,
but I think
and
that somebody
staring at us.
that has trying to give him a reminder like that and using it as saying he's a shit.
Right. And then
I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that. Shake. How
we ain't trying to shame him into what he's trying to do. But
does it come from the sinus cavity? Shake. How did he do that?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't even do that.
I can't do that either.
Shake to me. I don't know. I got a strawberry shake.
Here.
Up the shake.
I can't even hear the difference. You guys are saying the same thing.
So if somebody is trying to use that with that scholarly title, in other words, he's saying it is manipulation as far as what he's trying to say. Instead of putting the sin on the person that's looking, he's trying to put the sin on the person that is actually doing that.
Right.
Now I got to get to this now, okay, because we're gonna run out of time. So speaking about Muslim projects, okay, what does a Muslim project have to have in order to be successful, in order to be deemed like successful? Like you're saying, you don't need the Oscar, the Emmy, or anything like that. You got 100,000 freaking streams. That is like we've sold 100,000 books. Okay,
yes, we shining together. Together.
So I mean, this is success to us. This is success.
Well, what you talking about? When 12 people bought it, I was successful.
Oh yeah, you were. Success. But I'm just saying, this will be 8 years in February, and we haven't gone a month without a royalty check. Like in 8 years, we have not missed a royalty check. So
may it increase, may it continuously increase. That's important.
Alhamdulillah. But so I'm saying what is success? What is a project?
If you did a project and did it your way, did it how you want to do it, all that good stuff. Go ahead, because
I would say you just need an authentic story with the formula of how people watch films. So you do have to have the drama, you have to have the antagonist, and it needs to be real so that we could relate to it and see ourselves and tell the truth inside of these stories, right? And I'm saying that because like we know when people are not, we can see it when the hijab ain't tied right, when the person ain't takbiring right, when when they ain't do the wudu right. That means there's no care in representing us inside of the story. But when you see it and it represents us inside of the story, oh man, I believe that we got 1.8 billion Muslims and counting in the world. They would be able to
watch your story.
Right. And a successful part of this project is inclusiveness. It needs to be like an Eid or something kind of related to where we already Muslims, we got Arabic words, right? So we need to be able to translate that so that people can relate to it and see it. Even if it's a black Muslim film, it needs to be inclusive in the way that everybody can understand it. Everybody might not be a part of it or in it, but they need to understand it to be able to follow the story. just like us. We can follow the story.
Yeah.
I just watched, August Wilson's, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and I follow the story. It's a way that people follow stories and they watch a film, and sometimes it catch you and sometimes it doesn't. And I think what happens to us is that artists are not writing the story, right?
Yeah.
It's usually there's and I'm sorry, I'm hitting them, but listen, if somebody because they have the money, they would just do it themselves because they're engineers, right? And they have the money, but they don't have the artistic expression behind it. They're a genius mindset, but they need to combine, they need to connect with an artist, with their funding, so that they can get this out the way that people watch films in order to make it successful. And that's what I'm finding. There's the gap that's in between us controlling our own narrative, and side of
Right. Yeah. So what about these influencers though? Because you took a lot of heat for, having all of them in like American Share and stuff like that. Was it necessary, or is it necessary to make the movie a success or a project a success?
I learned that it is not, and that you don't need influencers inside of your film, right? And I learned that the hard way, because while I love these guys, these influencers that I got in the film, everybody didn't share the same vision. So when it's time to push the film, nobody pushes it because it only looks like it's my project. And I made a mistake because I was like, if I'm gonna pay, the Hollywood actors $15,000, $20,000, I'm gonna give the Muslims $10,000. And so I made a mistake with promising everybody in the film, or almost everybody in the film, people that had bigger followings, $10,000. When I didn't sell the movie immediately, then I was like, I don't have it yet, but I'll get it to you. Then that also broke, I overpromised. I broke relationship, and I overpromised and underdelivered. So they didn't mind. Like, oh, it's great, it's great. So I'm there pushing it alone by myself. 5 years. 5 years. I'm like, okay, I'm pushing this. I even made a deal. Now, here's the thing, which was so amazing. I didn't even know we could do. I made a deal with Cinemark. Cinemark allowed me to rent out their theaters independently across the United States of America. Oh, it was so humbling. I was like, are you serious? So nobody came.
Oh, wow. Tyler Perry.
Nobody came, man. Nobody came. It hurt my feelings, but I understood why.
To one in Atlanta, and it was packed.
And I'm happy that wasn't Cinemark, right? That was that independent. I believe it was a Black-owned film. It had historic, and alhamdulillah, my roots was very strong in Atlanta. We almost had a theater full of people in Atlanta. YouTube came out. Atlanta was one of our best theater screenings outside of Los Angeles. Los Angeles, we did really well in Los Angeles.
Alhamdulillah.
And both screenings in Los Angeles.
When you're new to the game, you kind of learn some things. So now that you've gotten your feet wet and everything, what's the projects on the horizon?
Man, so I'm so excited.
Now, hold up. What can we see coming from you? And I'm ready for my close up. What's my good side? My good side. I'm ready for my close up. No.
Do you and success to me, especially in Islam, is messaging. So when you writing your stuff, I'm gonna take it. There's probably an underlying message in whatever you're writing.
Definitely. And for me, honestly, my first film, my message was all hijacked. But I did good because it was when they killed my father in 2009. I was planning of what I could do. My company first was Omar Productions, so I was still dealing with that pain even when I started Hollywood in 2012, and I started filming in 2014 pre-production, I was so like, because we didn't have an outlet. There was only one narrative of what happened with my father. And now people to this day don't even know the true story because we didn't have an outlet. There was no Instagram back then. It was just, we didn't have it. So my underlining message there kind of got hijacked because of that. But I'm not mad at that because it was in honor of my father. My underlying message for my next film, I love this film, is the message has always been the same. The message of Jesus, the message of Moses, the message of Abraham, of all of the prophets in the Quran and throughout the gospel and throughout the Torah, right? It always been the same. So I want to go back to that, where I will be able to attract everyone. So this film that I have coming out next is called Faithful Neighbors. And the Faithful Neighbors is the story of an imam, a rabbi, and a pastor who are neighbors, but they can't stand each other, right? And so we got to figure out how the imam unintentionally moves inside of a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. And there was a Christian, a pastor that was already living there, right? Before the Jews got there, right? So that's all inside of the film, and we're on this block, and the houses is owned by Black people.
Okay.
Hey, bro.
I did a creative.
You can't even tell the line without laughing.
My intention, I'm telling you too, because I'm saying it out loud, to build relationship. My intention is to film at the Tyler Perry Studios.
Okay. So you can have.
I want to break down these walls and have some real conversations. I don't believe that the Quran was here to divide us. I don't believe that the message and the prophet being a mercy to mankind was something that divides human beings. I believe that it's something that will connect us all. And it's time for us to get back to that message, because that's the example that we have. And so then that's my mission. And standing through.
Hijack your directorial vision, but why am I feeling like do the right thing vibes here?
I don't feel no do the right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It just feels like do the right thing.
No, not to me.
I you know what? I feel some similarities in their work. Like when I did after my first film, I did Spike Lee's Masterclass, and oh my goodness, man, I was so inspired. And I did Martin Scorsese's directorial masterclass, and Aaron Sorkin. These are some of my favorite writers. I did their masterclass because I wanted to be a better filmmaker. Even when I watched the film, and I just wanted to be better, and I want this next film to be 10 times better, 10 times stronger. And so then I'll just keep learning, as I go along. But I'm very serious about it, and I'm grateful that now I've put the Faithful Neighbors that has a $3 million budget.
Oh, get out.
For Faithful Neighbors. So
he just told us we got a part. He just told us.
You didn't tell me I had no part.
That's what I heard.
What I want to share, what I really want to tell everybody is that, I mean, like even what we're sharing is, it takes us to create something. We got to create something, and we just got to stick with it, because it's 5 years, and everybody told me we wasn't going to be able to do nothing with American Sharia, and American Sharia is up to nearly at 100,000 streams. So, and then now I find that people called me and they're offering to help. You know what I mean? But it's like as much as we say we paid our dues,
Right. Just put one foot in front of the other, not giving up, But that's our time. That went fast, huh? So yeah, exactly. We could talk all night.
Rufus and Jenny show is the Rufus and Jenny show.
There you go. Don't you do it. Tell the people.
I was waiting on you to come with me, Rufus. Rufus, come with me.
With him.
I'm in your ear, Rufus. I'm in your ear.
Okay, like I said, when you pull up to Atlanta, okay, tell people how they can get in touch with you, because they're gonna want to be within this $3 million movie.
Oh man, at Omar Regan. And if they want to be in it, tell them to bring more resources. You know, because the more look, $3 million is still a low budget film.
Yeah.
So we want if you guys they want to be in it, like, man, let's make it even something great. Make it huge. So
Yeah.
bring some more resources, guys, and let's talk about it. Let's make it happen.
So you saying don't come to the table just to eat. Don't.
Oh my God. Y'all know how people do that, right? Y'all know how we've been working hard. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that we all been going through,
Partner,
pulling these things together, right? And then they just come in and want to eat. You be like, do you not understand my family?
Yeah.
Like I got a circle of loved ones that's been putting up with all of the sacrifices and compromises, especially when I tell them we got to go back to ramen noodles, right?
Not ramen, you went there. Oh my gosh. All right.
And then they say, okay, we with you. Then you be like, hey, and then I bring in somebody to come and eat. They'd be like, what? Did they bring the potatoes? Did they bring some juice? What? You just letting them come and eat?
Right. Be fruitful if you're gonna come to the table.
Just keep putting the love first, man, and inshallah.
May Allah reward you for all your efforts, and may
y'all too. May Allah keep blessing you and your platforms and
you and everything, and may your message be one for the masses. And inshallah, as long as we keep striving, may Allah put barakah in it. How about that?
I mean, and for you too, and keeps the success and them royalty checks coming and 10 times the fold. Just keep coming. Where Rufus, I saw you, Rufus, when you bought her that Mercedes. Well, you could go ahead and get her that Maserati you was telling me about, right?
Yeah, go there.
You would go ahead and get you that Lamborghini truck you was saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's put that together.
Supposed to be. Had me all ugly crying and stuff. I'm doing over crying. I'm on with over crying.
Look at Rufus.
Like, don't you ever do that again. You got people contacting us from all around the world. You got Muslim sisters telling their husbands that they want that with a Range Rover. Hey,
listen. But let me tell you, Rufus, man, may Allah bless you, because it was inspiring to all the husbands to say, man, I need to do that. And I believe that was the reward of you just sharing that, was like inspiring other husbands to put that on their list to do.
I knew some brothers out there with some money could have gave their wife a nice gift. That's all. I knew it was some out there.
Yeah, tell them to stop buying those Toyota Corollas.
I told him I would have took a Corolla. I told him that. I said I would have been fine with a Corolla, but you had a lot of husbands that said, said wait on it. Yeah,
Corolla. Look, I mean, alhamdulillah. I mean, Allah is most merciful. But again, if a Corolla is all you can afford, then I'm sure she'll be happy with a Corolla.
I mean, that's true. And may Allah keep blessing your family, man. Allah keep blessing the energy and your son, man. I was with y'all on that journey, man.
Yes,
I'm sending that love, man, because losing loved ones like that is very touching. And people, I mean, this is very tough, but I wanted to say that to y'all on your show, because people don't get the roses while we can still smell them, but that is the truth. I was feeling for y'all pain. I haven't went through that one. And so I'm like, may Allah bless y'all. I saw Freeway just go through it.
Yeah.
And it's really tough. But that was also inspiring. That was also inspiring. Oh, I'm praying success for y'all, man. I'm rooting for y'all over here. Like, come on.
Well, we're rooting for you, brother, and keep them storylines coming. Keep that mind going. But again,
got it though. I do have it. I promise you. I have it.
If we're putting out messages, if we don't just put something out just to put it out, if we actually put out something with messaging, may there be some reward in it. That's all.
No, I mean,
really.
But I'm telling y'all, I got the halal romantic comedy. I got some stuff.
Okay. Well, inshallah, we're gonna have to have you back. And like I said, when you pull up to Tyler Perry, we're gonna pull up too.
That's right.
We be fifth grade and everything.
I don't know what she's talking about, bruh.
He do. He do. Okay, I'll let him in.
I'm letting the brother do his thing.
Can I
Y'all
will talk all
No,
night.
we definitely gonna have a night. We're gonna have a pull-up day for sure, because it's things that they need to see, because they're right there in Atlanta, and they may not know it. They just may not know it. But when I saw that T.I. and Killer Mike and them came out for Imam Jamil, it's like there's so much happening in Atlanta with the relationship, that if we present that in a nice visual of what it really truly is, it makes us stronger.
And they spoke the history that they spoke about with accuracy. The accuracy, of the history. That's what people don't see. And we're more than that. Yeah, we're street soldiers as Muslims, but we're also more than that. We are community builders and some of everything.
I wonder why this ain't ended yet.
Wait, I'm sorry, Rufus. It's not like IG, It's yo.
Well,
this is the Rufus and Jeannie show.
Tight schedule.
That's true.
I appreciate you.
True. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We way off time.
That's okay. Inshallah, we will talk to you again. Okay.
Okay.
Hang tight.
Hey, y'all be cool.